Hey there, Saki here from sakitech. In today's video, I want to share over 25 tips and tricks as well as hidden features for the wonderful Nexus 6P smartphone. If you already own this phone, this is the video to watch to learn everything it is capable of. Or if you want to buy this phone, this is a great way to see its capabilities. So let's dive in and master the ins and outs of this fantastic gadget. Alright, so before I dive into the actual tips, I just want to quickly show you that I put the settings button onto the home screen right here for quick and easy access. The reason is because normally you would have to pull this thing down twice to access the button on the top. But if you go to the home screen and if you scroll down, there's the settings button. You simply drag and drop and place it on your desktop for easy access. Alright, so tip number one of my favorite features. Go into the settings, scroll all the way down to where it says accessibility, tap it, scroll down a little bit, and take a look at power button ends call option. So basically, if you enable this thing, if you're in a call, instead of pressing the end button on the screen, you can simply press the power button on the side and that's going to end the call. This simply adds another layer of convenience in your hands. And while we're in this menu, let's just drop 3 more tips on you. First one, you can enlarge the text by simply turning on the large text icon, or you can go back to normal. Number 2, you can actually enable an experimental feature called the high contrast text, which is simply going to increase the contrast of the text, so the blacks are going to be stronger. So let's disable that, and if you go at the bottom over here, you have the option called color inversion, which is also an experimental feature. It's going to invert the colors for the entire phone, so the entire color scheme is going to be inverted. And if you go back out here, this is what you're going to see. Not a big deal, but it is in fact an option we have. At least it turns the menu into a black mode. Alright, so the next tip in fact is a secret. It's a hidden menu you have to enable. It's called the System UI Tuner. What you have to do is you have to pull down the notification panel and one more time, simply press and hold the settings icon for 5 to 10 seconds. And then when you let it go, it's going to go into the settings and it's going to say that the tuner option has been enabled. And if you scroll all the way down, it's going to be sitting right over here. Now there are several things you can do here. Let's go inside and it's going to give you a little prompt. Just click got it. Now the first thing you can do is you can actually rearrange the quick settings. These are the quick toggles that are residing here. As you can see, you've got access to Wi-Fi, to Bluetooth, and other stuff like the flashlight. If you go in here, you can actually now grab what option you like more and put it to the top and prioritize it. So grab the flashlight and just drag and drop, and as you can see, it goes on top. And if you want the Bluetooth on this side, you just grab it, drag it, and as you can see, they have swapped places. So that's one thing you can do. Additionally, you can grab something here that you do not need and you can delete it. So let's just grab this guy and drag and drop it to where it says delete, and it's gone. If you want to re-add it, you simply click add a tile and the hotspot is right there. So you click it and it goes back where it belongs. Now let's say you messed it up too much and you want to reset it to the way it was when you first bought the phone. You simply click this settings icon, you click reset, and everything goes back to normal. Additionally, if you go back and if you go into the status bar, you can actually customize the status bar. So take a look over here. You've got the Bluetooth icon right here. You've got the Wi-Fi icon right next to it and all that stuff. So let's say I don't want the Bluetooth icon. I can simply disable it. Let's say I do not want the Wi-Fi icon. I can also disable that just by tapping this. And as you can see, you can enable or disable a lot of options. So go ahead and customize this as you wish. I like to keep everything on. So let's just enable everything and go back to the settings menu. And I also want to let you know that you can actually re-hide this menu. So if you don't want it, you can just make it go away. All you have to do is go back out, pull down the notifications panel, simply press and hold the settings icon for 5 more seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, let it go, and it's going to say, would you like to remove the System UI Tuner? Click remove, and it's gone. Alright, so the next tip has to do with the notifications panel as well. It has to do with the quick settings actually. So if you pull it down again, you'll see that some of these quick settings have a tiny arrow right next to the actual text pointing downwards. If you tap that arrow, it actually expands that menu. And from here, what you can do is you can actually shut this thing off. Alrighty, you can go back in, and you can also go into more settings. So that's going to take you to the actual settings page right from the quick settings panel. So far, the only two that I saw that had that option was the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth over here. So if you tap Bluetooth, it gives you the extended menu. You can go into more settings, or when you pull down, you can simply click done, and that goes back into the quick settings page. Alright, so let's pull this out. And sometimes you want to be able to access the camera quickly. Let's say your phone is locked and you saw something and you want to take a picture really fast. What you can do is you can go to the settings, go to where it says on the top, display, and from here, make sure you enable this option. It says press power button twice for camera. So you can enable this or disable this. If you enable it, here is the beautiful part. Let's shut the phone off. Let's say I saw something I want to take a picture of. Double tap, brings up the camera immediately, and you even get a little vibration feedback indicating the camera was pulled up. When you're done, you get out. Let's go right back. And here's something that actually annoys me a lot. Let's say I go to the Play Store and I download an application. Let's just grab anything over here somewhere, something small. Tap on this, click install. Installation in progress, installation complete. Now when I go back to my home screen, as you can see, by default it creates a new page and adds the icon to my home screen, which I do not want. I prefer that the icon goes straight into my app drawer, which is right over here. So there is a way to disable this automatic creation of app shortcuts onto the home screen. All you have to do is go into the Play Store itself, go into the settings at the bottom, click settings, and make sure you disable add icon to home screen. So if you disable this, if I go back out there and if I try to install anything else, let's just try this guy right over here. Alright, so installation complete. If I go back into the home screen and if I scroll over, as you can see, the icon did not show up on the home screen for no reason. So let me just remove this, because I like to have my home screen nice and clean, and I like all my apps to actually go into the app drawer. And as you can see, the March Madness is sitting right there. And then if I want to, I can drag and drop and put it on the desktop in the position that I please. Let's move on. Now your Nexus device comes in with a built-in file explorer. What you have to do is you have to go to the settings, and you have to scroll down to where it says storage and USB. Just tap it, and at the bottom it's going to say Explore. If you click that, it's going to take you into the built-in File Explorer. From here, I can access my movies, my music, my pictures, my notifications, my download folders, and anything else that you please. You can even search in your storage. You can actually sort by name, by date, and by size. And finally, you can actually enable a grid view, which kind of looks more like a folder. I like this view much better. And in case you didn't know, you can actually set up multiple accounts for your Nexus device. All you have to do is tap this blue icon over here, and that's going to show you the current users that are available, and then you can also add more users by simply pressing the plus icon. Now this is a great way to create restricted profiles for children or maybe other adults that just want to play games on your phone, but they shouldn't have access to anything private. And on top of that, if you go back into the settings, and if you go back into storage and USB, and if you tap it, you get some storage management features. You can see how much of your storage is being used. But what I really like is it actually breaks it down by individual users. So the user H is using this much space, and you can actually add this up and get a number. But then the user S is using this much space. So if I pull this down, as you can see, I have the user H, which is me, the main user, and S is simply a test account that I created. But as you can see exactly how much space that user is wasting. And the only reason you do not see the guest account is because the guest account has not been activated yet. And while we are here, let me throw one more tip. So if you tap on this cached data icon, it's going to give you the option to delete. And if you click OK, as you can see, that number is going to go from 35 megabytes to 0 because I just cleared it up. And obviously this is not useful only for 35 megabytes, but sometimes the cached data actually is taking a gigabyte of your space and you're not even aware of it. So if you need more space, you should come in here, take a look at the cached data, and if it's taking a lot of space, simply tap it and delete it. Now the next thing I like is if your phone is lying flat on the table and if you pick it up, it can actually turn on by default. All you have to do is go into the settings, go into display, and enable ambient display. So what that's going to do is it's going to, as it says right over here, wake the screen when you pick up the device from a flat surface or when you receive a notification. It's very convenient to pick and glance at your phone and then put it back. And here's a quick tip. This tip is going to allow you to put your phone into the vibrate mode very, very quickly. So all you do is you tap the volume icon and you simply tap the bell. And as soon as you tap the bell, it brings the phone to vibrate. And if you tap it again, let's bring it up one more time, tap it again, it takes it back to the loud mode. And this works for all the other options. So let's just bring up the volume, tap this downwards icon, and as you can see, I can do this with all of these different options. This is the alarms, this is the media, and this is the vibration for the phone notifications. You can toggle on and off just by tapping the respective icons. So here's a nice tip to customize your lock screen just a little bit. Go into the settings, go into security, and from here simply type in a lock screen message. So I can have something like my channel name right here. Click save. Now if I go into my lock screen, you'll see it says sakitech right under the date. So as you know, the Nexus 6P comes with a fingerprint sensor that works flawlessly. If you want to actually go into the Play Store and make purchases using your fingerprint instead of putting your password, you can do so. All you have to do is go to the settings of the Play Store, just go in here, go to settings at the bottom, and make sure fingerprint authentication is enabled. The first time you enable this, it's going to ask you to put your Google account password, but once you do that, you're done. And now you can use your fingerprint to make purchases instead of putting your password in every single time. So here's a fantastic tip. If you go into the settings, and this has to do with security, and if you scroll down to where it says security, you tap it, and if you go back down, it says smart lock. If you go into smart lock, what you can do is first and foremost, it's going to ask you to pick a pin. So let me just put mine in right now. Just click got it, and as you can see, there's 5 options here. So basically what I can do here is, for instance, if I'm at home, I can tell my phone to always stay unlocked so I don't have to put in my PIN number or my fingerprint to unlock the device at my own house. It keeps track of where I am by using my GPS signal. But the moment I leave my home, the phone will automatically sense that I left my house by using my GPS signal, and it will re-enable all screen lock security. That's a fantastic feature. So all you have to do to enable the location awareness is tap on Trusted Places, click on Add Trusted Place, and simply type in your home address. And the moment you do that, you're going to realize that your phone is never going to actually lock itself. You don't have to put your password, you don't have to put your fingerprints, but the moment you move away from your home, then obviously it's going to re-enable it. Location aware security. And of course, if you look on the top here, you can do the same thing with trusted devices via Bluetooth. So for instance, if you have your Android smartwatch on your wrist, you can add it as a trusted device. You simply tap this thing, you tap on Add Trusted Device, you pick Bluetooth, and it's going to scan for your device, and you simply tap on it once it shows up over here. And as long as you're in the proximity of a trusted device, your Nexus will remain unlocked. But if you walk away from your Nexus and leave it behind, it will reactivate the screen lock security. These are amazing features. Now, one more thing I forgot to mention is if you scroll down and go back into that System UI Tuner, you can also enable the battery level percentage. So if I click this, in this box here where the battery is, you're going to see the actual number of the remaining battery life. It might be a little bit hard to see it right now, but it says 44%. The next thing you can do is if you go into the settings, obviously you can search the settings. So instead of scrolling through and trying to find something, you can go straight into it. So let's say I was looking for fingerprint security. I can simply type that in, and it's going to say Manage Fingerprints. And if I go into the fingerprint options, let me show you one thing really quick. As you can see on the top, it says left index. That is my left index finger, which is right here. So the reason it says left index is because I gave it that name. So you can actually tap on this after you add a fingerprint and edit the name of your fingers. So that's going to allow you to keep track of all the fingers that you add as far as your security is concerned. This makes sure that when you go in and you try to delete a fingerprint, you're deleting the correct one and don't have to redo the whole thing again. And I'm sure a lot of people know about this, but if you go into the settings and if you scroll all the way down, if you go to About Phone and tap on Android a couple times, it's going to bring that marshmallow symbol. But if you press and hold this, it will bring up the Flappy Bird game, which you can play right from here. So you just press play, gives you a countdown, and from here you can play this game. Now, one thing I notice a lot of people don't do is they do not go into the settings, and they do not go into security, and they do not enable automatic lock. So make sure you go in here, you tap this thing, and the lock is enabled to automatically. You do not want to take any chances, because if you keep at 10 minutes, somebody could access your phone even after you put your phone away, okay? Because it's going to take 10 minutes after sleep for the phone to actually lock itself. So for 10 minutes, the phone is exposed to anybody that picks it up after you and goes inside. So make sure this is always set to immediately. All right, so the next thing I'm going to talk about is the app permissions. So let's go into the settings. At the bottom here, just go straight into apps, and this is your application manager, and you can individually control the permissions for each app right from here. So let's pick one. Let's just pick Best Buy, tap on it, and then tap on permissions. And from here, as you can see, the Best Buy application has access to my camera, my location, my phone, and my storage. Maybe I don't want that. So what I can do is I can turn those accesses, deny, off. This is a great security feature that gives you complete control over which app accesses what part of your phone. And of course, you can do this with any app, alrighty? So just pick any random app right over here, go to permissions, and you can enable or disable the permissions. You can even go further in. If you click this icon right over here, you can click all permissions, and that's going to show you exactly what your Gmail app is currently able to access and modify. And if you go ahead and tap on these, it gives you some information regarding how that permission is being used by the Gmail application. Not bad at all. Let's do one more. Let's go back out, go back to Best Buy, click permissions, click this, all permissions. And again, you'll see that Best Buy has a lot of access to my phone. But at least this way I know exactly what's going on. And one more thing, if I turn my phone off, it locks. If you press the power button, and as you can see over here, I have a bunch of notifications, but there's a lot of information that is being shown here. It is showing the email address, what kind of emails I have so far, and all the things I've installed. What if I want to hide this content because I think it is sensitive content? It's doable. So let's go into the settings, go into sound and notification, scroll all the way down, and over here it says when device is locked, show all notification content. So let's say I don't want to do that. I'm going to say hide sensitive content. Now if I go back out here, I will be getting minimal information. So as you can see, it says contents hidden. And if I try to expand these, it's going to ask for the password or my fingerprint. Previously, I could see all this without even putting my fingerprint or my PIN number. Well, thank you for watching this video. Make sure you subscribe to sakitech and give this video a thumbs up. Any comments, questions, or concerns, leave them down in the description below, and have a fantastic day.